Hey, I'm the new girl at WHPR, Kimberly Clemens, the host of Chats and Chuckles. Tune in on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Chats and Chuckles. I am here to bring life to the chatter that matters. Hey, welcome everybody. Today is Tuesday, November the 10th, and it is my debut show. I am so grateful to God to be here this morning, and I'm thankful that you tuned in here at 10 a.m. with Chats and Chuckles. Here we are bringing life to the chatter that matters. I am so grateful today. Today is Veterans Day. So let's take a moment, let's take a pause to give a big round of applause to our veterans today. Y'all, it is such a blessing to be able to have veterans. You know, our veterans, they serve our country, they serve our families, they serve our community. You know, today is all about veterans. So I'm here today with all of these special veterans, and I just want you to grab your coffee, grab your tea, sit back, and enjoy the show today. So I first want to introduce to you some of my best friends, the people that I absolutely love, care about, and they happen to be veterans. So I will tell you, today we have Brian.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Miss Priscilla here.
Hello.
So I want to start with you, Brian. Today
Yes,
it's a really, really special day.
It is.
It's a very, very special day where the country is celebrating veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a veteran.
I am.
And I see it on your shirt. But can you tell us what branch of service that you represent?
United States Navy.
United States
Yeah.
Navy. And so you are Navy man, or what's the term that we use for Navy?
It's a variety of terms, but usually just seaman is what they say.
Seaman?
And, yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about you, Brian.
About me, I am a father, grandfather, and just a wonderful friend of the Clemens family.
Oh, absolutely. I will agree with that wholeheartedly.
And just a well-rounded person. I mean, I can't go. It's hard to talk about yourself. You know what I mean?
It is.
But
it is.
that's what I am. You know, I love my family, my children, my grandchildren, everybody that's there. That's for me. I'm for them.
Okay. I absolutely believe that. I can attest to that. You are a great friend, not just to me, to my husband, to my family. So I want to say thank you publicly for that.
You're welcome publicly.
So Brian, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
tell me how long did you serve in the Navy?
4 years.
4 years in the Navy. And what made you join the Navy?
Honestly, indecisiveness when I was in 12th grade. You know, you wanna do something. You wanna make sure you're, just growing up and being a man, but you don't know the avenue. And at that point, my father, grandfather, uncles, my cousins, I'm like, okay, maybe this is what I want to do. And then I looked into it. I did my research looking, back then it wasn't in, and I had encyclopedia and dictionary and all that type of stuff, right? So I did my research and I was like, okay. And I looked at a few different ones and I actually wanted to go to the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
I did, but I actually saw the Navy, and I'm glad I went to the Navy because I was able to travel more. I saw more.
Okay,
I saw a lot more.
So it all started for you in the 12th grade.
Yeah.
12th grade.
Around this time of year in the 12th grade, around fall.
Were you in the ROTC program?
No.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I just started realizing that, all right, something's going to be happening in June, and I can't keep working at KFC. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you had a job.
Yeah, I was like, I
and
can't
you were
keep
weighing
working.
your options.
Yeah, so that's that's where it started. And I'm not gonna lie, and I wasn't even 18 yet. I was 17 when I left. I had my birthday in boot camp, and I remember, like, did I make the right decision?
So you were 17.
Yeah, my parents had to sign for me to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't even 18 yet. I left a month before I turned 18.
Month before you turned 18.
Mm-hmm. So when I did everything, my mother and father had to do everything because I enlisted like March, February time.
Okay.
So I was all set, and I just did the delayed entry, but I didn't leave until August.
Wow. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
so
nice. So
that's
12th grade is
my
where it
transition
started for you.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Priscilla, what branch do you represent?
I represent the Marine Corps. Hoorah.
All right, all right. Now I didn't heard "oorah" probably a million times just yesterday because Marine Corps birthday
Right.
was just yesterday. So now, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
I am not a mother, but I am a great aunt
I love it.
to
Okay.
many, many nephews and nieces. And I have a brother, so I'm a sister. And I'm very active in the Montford Point Marines Association. Montford Point is where Marines were trained in World War II. It was segregated because at that time the Marine Corps, well, all the services were segregated.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so the Marine Corps trained African American Marines at Montford Point. And we presently have a Marine Corps League detachment where we gather and provide services to our community.
Absolutely, and you serve very well. I can attest to that because I served with you down at the Montford Point Marine Corps League detachment.
Right, and we
Number
couldn't do it.
158, right?
We couldn't do it without the auxiliary.
That's right. That is exactly right. Thank you, Priscilla, for saying that. So now, when you joined the Marine Corps, may I ask, how old were you?
I was older. I had already gone to college and graduated, so I had some experience in the workforce. I think I was maybe 26.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you didn't come right out of high school.
No, I did not. No, I did not come right out of high school. In fact, I was not. The service was not on my radar at the time. I can tell you though that as I matured and got out into the working world, I started to feel more of it, wanting to have a sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that I joined, there was the Iranian hostage crisis.
Wow.
Just like some people joined after 9/11.
9/11,
Yeah.
yeah.
For some reason, the Iranian hostage crisis just hit me hard. I felt like it was, how could a country, well, at the time I felt like the embassies were like our sovereign nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we had an entity that took it over, held people hostage. And it just galvanized me, and I just felt I wanted to do something.
That is so cool to hear, because a lot of times we do hear people when there's a tragedy
Right.
that they want to do something and be a part of it, and you chose to join the Marine Corps.
Right.
Now out of all the branches, I want to ask you both, like, why did you choose that particular branch?
For me, I was running 10K races. I was pretty physically fit at the time, and I had considered the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
but the Marine Corps was smaller, and I felt there would be a chance. I was a little hesitant about getting out on a big
water.
ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the water. Okay, so the water kind of brings some resolve to that.
It'll
that
deter
mind
you a
about
little.
being out there so long.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so Marine Corps for you, like you really wanted to do something honorable, because of the crisis that was going on.
Absolutely.
But being a woman choosing, the Marine Corps, like, was it difficult for you?
Yes, it was difficult. It was. let me just add though, I had graduated from Yale University, so I had been to a university
Look
hear
at
that?
you. Come on
of
now.
all women, of
You got
men.
to clap for
Oh,
that.
my goodness.
You got to clap for that. That's what's
Graduated
up.
from Yale.
Congratulations.
So
Yes.
I had experience of being in a literally all male environment, and there were a number of Yale alumni. I think George H.W. Bush, you know, who were.
Wow. Priscilla, I did
Joined the
not know
Navy.
this
That's
about
what's
you.
yeah, that's all right.
Wow, I can just imagine you, being a young woman, but going through Yale, a prestigious school like that, but then in a time where you are, of the minority, that had to require a lot of strength, a lot of courage, and a lot of because we watch videos or we watch movies and we see what military entails and doing basic training. So I know it wasn't a fly by night easy thing. So
No, it wasn't. But I think you draw on your something internal. And I want to just add that one of my ancestors was a slave who actually was a free man in Virginia. And literally, sometimes I would be tramping through the woods and be thinking.
you would think back on
I was thinking
on what
about
they went through.
if he was tramping through these woods, this Virginia. This
Then
is for
you
me.
can do
This
it.
is
Yeah,
for me to do
that's
this.
what's up.
Priscilla,
like
let me
that.
tell you, when I think about our ancestors, I always tell myself, I know God knew. I could. That was not my time. Wasn't time for me to be born back then. I don't know how I could have drawn any strength going through things like that. But for you, Brian, can you tell me why? Why the Navy?
Like I said, I wanted to do the Air Force. The Navy really just provided the travel for me, and I was happy with my decision at the very end. I went a lot of places.
Now wait a minute. You said you was happy at the end.
At the end,
At
like
the
'cause
beginning, what was it like? Like once you got to boot camp, was it like a shock, a culture shock,
Oh, yeah.
or okay?
Oh yeah, it was because first of all, you're 17, 18, you're away from home. You haven't experienced like she went to Yale, so she was used to being away from home.
Right.
So
that college
I
experience.
had been gone longer than a weekend away from home.
So you go from where was it? What you said, Burger King?
I would know KFC.
Oh, KFC. So you went from KFC.
to Chicago. So you
Big
get there,
city.
and then growing up in the city, going to school in the city. That in and of itself is a culture shock when you get to boot camp and you get in the Navy and you realize I've never been around all these different, people. So now you got to realize
you're from
how to-
Detroit.
From Detroit,
So
born
you're
and
from
raised.
Detroit. What high school?
Mumford.
Mumford High School. Straight to the Navy.
Yeah.
To Chicago.
Yeah, well, right outside Chicago.
Right
yeah.
outside
Great Lakes.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Did any fear set in? Any doubt?
Not fear, more just nervous of what to expect. It was not bad. It was just I don't know what's next. But
The unknown.
the unknown. But I knew. I don't know. Even today, I just know I'm gonna be all right.
Oh,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
good.
I knew I was gonna be all right.
That's
I just didn't know how I was gonna be all right. But I knew I was gonna be all right, even at that age, And I just, like I said, I was happy with my decision at the end, and I would have stayed in. I just realized that I was too far away. I was on the West Coast. I couldn't get home if I needed to get home. They couldn't send me closer, and that's what kind of, made me get out. But like I said, when I'm 19 years old and walking through Hong Kong and Japan,
Wow.
that I was in Hong Kong. I remember sending my mother from
Wow.
Japan, from Hong Kong.
Wow. So Hong Kong. Now tell me, what did your family say about it?
You know what? Like I said, it was a different time. So they didn't know where I was at. They didn't know where I was at until I came home or called them and told them. We weren't in contact like that. I was talking to them, cell phones was just coming out.
Oh, right.
know,
So Brian, you go to boot camp. Once you're done with boot camp, are you on the ship for a
No.
long period of
no,
time?
I went to school at Great Lakes afterwards. Then I got my orders. This is just how young I was. I got my orders, and they told me, "You're going to Washington." I'm like, I'm happy. I think I'm going to Washington D.C. They was like, "No, you're going to Bremerton, Washington." I said, "Is that in Maryland?" It was like, "No, you're going to Washington State." I was like, "Oh,
Wait a minute,
okay."
you went where? Mumford?
Washington State. Yeah, I went to
to
Mumford.
Mumford?
It didn't register. I didn't get that geography part. But I went there, and that part from going in and going to Washington, my ship, I went in August. I got to my ship in April. So boot camp, then school, then my ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that transition, you live on the ship. After about a year and a half, I got an apartment with my cousin, but we lived on the ship. And when we went on our cruise, that's when we would be going 6 months at a time.
Okay.
And 89 and 91 is when I did that. And then just little times here and there, we would, by being in Washington and it being cold, we would go California, Hawaii, and train because the water's warmer. And then
Wow, so you got
Philippines.
to see a lot.
Yeah, I
So
went to
Hawaii,
Hawaii multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Wow. How about you, Priscilla? Some of the places that you've traveled.
I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan.
Nice.
Oh, I loved Okinawa, Japan.
I did too. My favorite duty station was Stuttgart, Germany.
Mm,
Wow.
nice.
Yeah, I spent a year in Stuttgart, Germany. I had a chance to travel
Yeah.
throughout Europe. And I tell people how we drive from here to Ohio, and you drive that distance in Europe, and you're in another country.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I enjoyed that, and probably the place that had the greatest impact on me was the Berlin Wall.
Mm.
There's a Berlin Wall museum where
Wow.
you see pictures and films, the kinds of extraordinary ways that people try to overcome that distance. Can you just imagine one day, your family is across the 3 blocks away, and the next day there's a wall, and you
Yeah.
can't go visit your family, you can't do any of the things that you're used to doing, and
Wow.
so it makes me have a lot greater appreciation for the freedoms that we have here.
That sounds really interesting. Like I just think of you guys being young,
Yeah.
really young, and then traveling so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were some of the issues that you had, was it family being afraid or, fearful that you were so far, or they didn't know about the country? Like, did they say, hey, come home, or?
Well, see, that's the thing too. They didn't, like I said, they didn't know. Like, you will know where your child is. He'll call you.
Oh, I'm going to know where
I'm
my
saying you'll
child
know.
is. Yeah.
But my mother didn't. My mother didn't know. And then my father was in the army. He was like, that boy's okay. Don't worry about it. So
Ooh, could you
my
imagine?
mother
Let me
didn't
tell
know.
y'all, being a parent, you don't want to
Yeah.
hear, oh, he
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
or she all right. You want to know
Yeah,
where
it's
they
different.
are.
It's completely different now.
Yeah.
You know where he's at going forward. All they knew is that I was leaving, and a lot of times we didn't know. When the Persian Gulf War started, we left, and we were on our way there, and we left, and we just went to a little past Hawaii and sat there. We just
Wow.
sat there. We sat there for like 2 weeks. My brother got married. I was supposed to be in his wedding. Sat there for 2 weeks, and they was like, you guys are all set, and they sent us back. We just sat there.
Wow, sometimes we forget about those things, those special things, that you miss out on.
Yeah, and that's it too. You miss childbirth, you miss things like that. I can tell you how many people that I went overseas with, and then they come back and their wives are there with a baby because their son or daughter was born while they were gone.
Wow, that's something to think about. You know, like we always, or I'll say me, you know, like when I think of service men or women, you know, I think about how, you know, you're serving the country, but those little things that mean a lot, you know, it's hard for us to even grasp it because, you know, you're living it, but, you know, we're looking at that, you know, oh, you're going to war or you're not going to war or you travel, but some of those very important things get missed.
And that's the thing too, you don't know. That's the unique thing about the other branches. Like if you were in the Army and you go get stationed somewhere, your spouse is with you, something like that. The Navy, if you go on a cruise for 6 months, and they can extend you. Now they're extending, you know.
Wow,
6
so
months.
even in the Navy, you call it a cruise?
It's called a cruise. It's called a cruise because they'll take you. You'll do whatever you need to do if you're going 6 months. The way ours was, we would leave Seattle, go to California, pick up our helicopter detachment, go to Hawaii, go to the Philippines.
Wow.
Go to Singapore, then go to the Persian Gulf.
Wow. You know, you guys have really shed some light on your experiences. I really do appreciate the time that you spent with me. The time does go by quickly, doesn't it?
It does.
You know, I try to talk about those things that, you know, I think that you want, you know, to share. That's not hard, you know, to talk about. But I have to wrap it up now. But if there is one thing that you can tell people about the Navy, what's one thing that you can tell them that would kind of bring light to?
The one thing I would say is don't be discouraged by the water.
Don't be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged by the water.
All right, Priscilla, give me one thing.
One thing, to me, part of maturity is starting to focus on something bigger than yourself.
I like that.
Yes.
Focus on something
Yes.
bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And you've done that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. All right, you at home, please come back. We're going to take a short break, and we'll talk with more veterans. It's Veterans Day, so let's honor our veterans.
Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ah, ah. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ah, ah.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Clean up on aisle 5. Sounds like my life right now. Just one big mess.
What's going on?
It's my property taxes.
What?
I am behind and I am so worried that I'm going to lose my house. I can pay some of it, but I can't pay it all at once.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Eric Sabri, the Wayne County Treasurer. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to tax foreclosure. We have assistance programs to help.
For more information, go to treasurer.waynecounty.com.
We're here to help.
Feel good about your future with tuition-free programs at Wayne County Community College District. Whether you want to be in healthcare, computer science, the culinary arts, digital media, or robotics and automation for the next generation of vehicles, WCCCD has you covered. A full range of programs to achieve your goals, fit your schedule, and give you all the support you need to be successful. All of it tuition-free. Now there's something to feel good about. Register today at wcccd.edu.
All media platforms are engaged. Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV.
We are here with Chats and Chuckles, honoring our veterans on today. And I am so glad to have these two gentlemen here. I'm going to first introduce to you my husband, Randall Clemens.
Thank you.
Randall Clemens representing the Marine Corps. And then I also have, this young man here is a dear friend of mine. We're serving together in DPD, together as chaplains. We serve at the 7th Precinct. But he is representing the Air Force today. His name is
Lance Pittman.
Lance Pittman, and it's so hard for me because I'm ready to call him Chap or Chap Pittman. So, but let's get started. I'm really grateful that both of you are here today. As we said before, that today is Veterans Day. And Veterans Day means a lot to some of us simply because we are attached to a veteran. And I often ask myself, would I be so concerned about Veterans Day if I was not attached by a veteran? So we had earlier Priscilla, who represented the Marine Corps as a female, and now we have you, Randall, representing the Marine Corps. Some of the things that she talked about really opened my eyes to, the experiences that you have. But for you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us why you chose the Marine Corps?
A little bit about myself. I am a father of 3/5 because we have
/5 because we have grands,
and we also adopted our niece and nephew. So we have a very large family.
Oh, we have a whole bunch of people, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I joined the Marine Corps in 1987. I actually joined in the 11th grade, like my partner before me, Brian. My parents had to sign for me in the 11th grade, so I got a year to prepare to go to boot camp, which was great. I got recruited over on Grand River and Greenfield, and I went to boot camp and got out with some rank, which is good to get out with rank.
So before we talk about that rank, let's talk about joining the Marine Corps in high school.
Yes, so I played football and ran track, and I think I was on a path to go to college, but I remember seeing a recruiter, I can't remember where, and I was with my mother, and I remember saying, I like that uniform, I want to do that. And I remember her telling me, you can't do that.
Oh, that's funny that you say that, because when I saw you in the uniform, it was the uniform for me too. So you like the uniform.
And when she told me I couldn't do it, that was motivation for me to do it. So when I came home with the recruiters, her face was in shock. And
so your mom said that you could not do it, like to say, no, I don't want my son to go to join.
I never really asked her. I don't know if she didn't think, I don't know. She just said, no, you can't do that. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And that kind of motivated me to go. And I trained all 11th grade, 12th grade, graduated, and I went to boot camp in June of '87.
Now, I do know a little bit of this story, and I think one of the things that I really liked that you had shared about when you decided to sign up, you went and recruited other people to sign up.
So I went to boot camp with 3 of my high school friends. I recruited them, all 3 of them. So
he was a recruiter
so
before
we all
he
went to
even
boot
joined.
camp together. So therefore, we all got rank, and that was good to go with some people you know, and we were prepared for the madness early.
Okay, so right out of high school, how about you, Pittman?
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do my senior year in high school. As a matter of fact, I didn't even graduate on time.
Wow.
The streets were calling me, and so
Wow.
I just told this story a couple of days ago to someone. I went to my biology teacher that last day of class, and I was hoping he was going to have some mercy and grace, and he did not. He told me, he said, "You didn't make it." And I went to my government teacher. My government teacher told me, "You didn't make it."
You didn't make it. Okay, so you already knew it wasn't nothing happening.
I already knew. But my father was in the Air Force during Vietnam, and you know, I was able to look at the photo album and see all the pictures of him. He was a firefighter in the Air Force, and so that intrigued me. And so even before that final day of school, my senior year, I had went to see the recruiter. I took the ASVAB, which is the test that you have to take to get into any branch of military service. I took that in high school, and I did fairly well. And so when I didn't graduate from high school, I went to Henry Ford High School. When I didn't graduate, I felt crushed, and so in my mind, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Wow, that's something. So you passed the ASVAB, which is not an easy test to take.
Right.
Passed the ASVAB, but did not pass the class in high school.
I didn't go to school.
Didn't go.
So that was the issue. I was hanging out. Look, and it's funny because all during school I was honor roll, A's and B's, just spelling bee champ. I mean, just all of that. But got to high school and kind of lost my mind.
Wow.
And I tell people all the time, the environment that you find yourself in, that the people that you surround yourself around can really determine your future. And at that time, there was a lot going on.
I bet. I bet. Now, you're from Detroit?
I am born and raised.
From Detroit, right, Randall?
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Detroit. So tell me, what did it look like to be born and raised in Detroit, finding yourself in the military, far away from home? The first place you went to?
My first place I went to was California for boot camp.
California, Sunshine State.
California was a shock to see palm trees. From there, I went to North Carolina. Big difference from California to North Carolina.
Yeah.
From there to Japan. So big culture swing from Detroit.
Yeah, I bet. How about you?
I do want to say that I ultimately graduated from Cody High School.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Because I came home and told my mom, I said, I didn't graduate. She said, you going to graduate.
Right.
And so she enrolled me in summer school at Cody High School. So I ended up graduating high school. And once I graduated, I said, you know what, I got to get out of here. And
you decided on your own, like, I got to get away from this environment.
I can't survive in this environment. And so it was such a negative situation that people that I was hanging out with were being gunned down in the streets. This was doing, between 80 and 83. And so seeing your friends, incarcerated, seeing your friends gunned down, it has an impact on you. And so I made a decision that, I was going to follow in the footsteps of my dad, who actually followed in the footsteps of his uncle. And so I'm third generation Air Force. My kids are fourth generation Air Force.
Oh,
so
look at that
people,
legacy.
Yeah, we've had people serving in the Air Force since World War II. And so My first recollection of leaving Detroit, and I was like the other gentleman. I hadn't even been to different places within Michigan. Down south every now and again, but I hadn't been a
like
whole lot
those
of places.
summer family vacations.
Yeah, exactly. But I hadn't been a lot of places, and so we flew down to San Antonio, Texas, Bexar County, and when I tell you, it was a shock. It was certainly a shock because they had this exercise where they wanted everybody to be in unison and on one accord, and you would put your bag down. If it didn't sound the same, they make you pick it back up. And we must have did this about 10 or 20 times before everybody put their bags down at the right time. So it was a culture shock for me.
Culture shock, right. So now both of you have some great experiences. You know, you got your reasons why you joined. You've traveled all around. So when you look at your life today, looking back on that experience, do you see that Air Force, Marines, do you see that it has made an impact in your life in a positive way, or in a way where you say, no, I wasted some time or something?
I would say at the time when you're in the service, you don't realize that you're grooming yourself for life. And once you get out and look back, you'll say, oh, I knew that, or I'm prepared for that already. So when I got out and I went to Wayne Assembly Ford Motor Company, people said, are you a police officer? I'm like, no. Are you a pastor? No. Why do you say that? Because you walk straight up and down. I said,
that is so true. I remember driving in the car when Randall first got out of the Corps. He would literally sit straight up, hands straight up, and drive, and it looked weird to me, like he was really driving some big machinery, but we in a little Escort.
Oh my goodness.
So that experience for you, knowing that you saw that your life was meaningful more so after all of those experiences that you had?
Yeah, it prepares you for life's most definitely experiences. Prepares you to deal with, so in the service you deal with all types of people from all genres of life, all colors, all cultures. And it prepares you. Like, just for an example, I've been in Iraq for a total of 7 years. So coming home to Detroit and going to Dearborn, I feel at home, no problem, because I've been over there so long and I can speak the language a little bit.
Yes, we get lessons at home on different languages. So now for you, Pittman, same thing?
It was certainly a positive for me. Just again, getting out of the environment that I was in. My wife says all the time, "Oh, you were a good guy." I was a good guy, but sometimes just found myself in the wrong situation, and so joining the Air Force was an escape for me. And it's funny because the other gentleman said he joined because he wanted to travel. I joined the Air Force because I wanted to travel too. My dad was stationed in Alaska, and he traveled all around the world as well. So I joined because I wanted to travel. And guess what? They sent me right back to Michigan.
Wow, right back where it all started.
But I never knew that there was an Air Force base, what they call up north. Oscoda, Michigan is where I went. And when I tell you, it opened my eyes to what life was all about. I never hunted, I never fished. We did all of that up there. I saw the Northern Lights while I was there.
Wow.
And then I decided I found the love of my life and got married on February 14th.
Oh, okay.
And
Come on,
my wife and I have been married
Valentine's Day.
for 40 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And I decided that.
So you got married right into the Air Force?
I was about 2 years in.
2 years in.
2 years in, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
I told my wife, I said, let's go on a honeymoon. And she said, let's do it. And so I picked all these different places, Greece and, Germany, just all these different places. And they sent back and said, "You're going to the Ryukyu Island chain," which is
Where is
Okinawa,
that?
Japan. Yeah. So I spent 6 years in Japan. I was a life support technician, but I taught survival techniques to pilots, and so we were able to travel all over the Pacific. So Guam, Philippines.
Wow, well-traveled.
Korea, I mean, just all over the place, and had a great time while I was doing it. So again, opened my eyes to what
bet.
The Air Force was really all about. And a lot of people don't understand that the Air Force is the only branch of service that has its own college. It's called Community College of the Air Force. And so just by me going to basic training, I got 4 physical education credits. By me studying the job that I was studying, I got college credits for that as well. And so it afforded me an opportunity to get my education. And ultimately, I retired from the Air Force.
Well, that's amazing. I want to say, too, that our son has joined the Air Force, and he's stationed in Abilene, Texas.
Yes, Dyess Air Force Base.
Yeah, so we're really proud, and thank you for giving us those nuggets. So we'll be able to conversate with him and not
worries.
seem lost.
Yeah.
Now, Randall, what was your job in the Marine Corps?
I tell people all the time, I was in Marine Corps, but I'm not one of those Marines. I'm not a oorah, running through the jungle, tanks. I worked on aircraft. I am a aviation ordnanceman, which in long term means I build bombs for the airplanes. And yeah, that's what I did. I worked on all airfields. I've been to Kadena.
Okay.
And trained with the Air Force on the ship, and helicopters, and all the aircraft.
Very interesting. So I want to ask you both, when you look at the world today and you see how our young men and our young ladies are, today, would you say that when you look at the military, especially the branch that you have chosen, or any branch that you know about, do you think it would be a good idea, to recommend, to our young people today? Or do you think, that was, for that time back then where things, how kids get in there, get the discipline, the structure and all of that. Do you recommend young people to join today?
I had mentioned a little bit earlier about being in Okinawa, and he talked about Kadena. I was there as well, and that kind of opened my eyes to every branch of military service, because every branch is there. You had the Army, you had the Marines, you had the Navy. My kids were born at a Navy hospital, and I really had an opportunity to see really how every branch of service lived, and nobody had it better. I mean, the dormitories, the dining facilities. I mean, when I was in a dorm, I was with one other person. We had a bathroom between our bedrooms. And
Air Force.
Air Force.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's why you told Xavier, join Air Force.
Yes.
Well, when I was in Okinawa, the Marines lived in these Quonset huts, and I was like, what? And it was like 15 or 20 of them in this one Bay Area, and it just kinda,
Was it like that, Randall?
Yes.
So Marine Corps is a lot different than Air
So
Force.
the Marine Corps is the smallest branch of service, and also, I'm not going to say least funded, but less funded. So we live to go to an Air Force base or a Navy base or Army base, because
my baby living good.
our living is quite war. That's it. Yeah, you don't need a nice bed. You don't need you need a rifle and some bullets. That's your job.
So is the military the same today? Like, when I think about our young people, is that a place where you would recommend?
Well, and so I mentioned I was a life support technician, but me seeing all of that made me want to become a recruiter. And so after I did that job, I went into recruiting. And so I spent the last part of my career in the Air Force in recruiting. And so I went and talked to young people about joining the Air Force all the time. And one of the sole reasons I did is because I didn't see African Americans represented as much in the Air Force as some of the other branches of military services. And so I wanted to come back to my own community and tell people about the great experience that I had in the Air Force.
How about you, Randall, with Marine Corps?
So today's kids, so back then in the 80s, it took you had to have a special kind of mind to go to the Marine Corps. With today's influence, cell phones, internet, Facebook, it's tough. It's tough to recommend the Marine Corps to kids.
So it takes a special kind of mind for Marines.
Because it ain't a piece of cake no more.
So I know the slogan for Marines are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Yes.
So in reality, very few can really actually make it to become a Marine, correct?
Yep. So we are, I don't know the population off the top of my head of the United States, but we are less than 10%. So 1 out of every 10 will make the Marine Corps.
1 out of every 10. I wouldn't make the Marine Corps, would I? that probably would be very difficult for me to make the Marine Corps.
I wanted to say, though, too, we have, as far as the military is concerned, by far, we've got the best military that's world renowned. So the Marines are definitely number one. If I was going into battle, I would
and
want
you know,
somebody
everyone says that. I know each branch has a joke, for each other branch,
Right.
but that is one thing that I always hear is that they really do admire, the Marines. So as far as Veterans Day, tell me, what is it that we can do better with honoring you as a veteran?
Well, the free meals do help. We do like that. But simple thank you for your service more than once a year would be most definitely a plus. Learning some little secrets like Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a sad day. It's not a happy Memorial Day.
Oh, so when people say happy Memorial Day, you're thinking, what's happy about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're honoring our fallen.
Those that have fallen.
Yeah.
So that's important that we do understand the difference. Veterans Day, it is a happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
But when it comes to Memorial Day, it's a day of solemn, a day where we're honoring and then mourning with those who mourn because of the fallen.
Yeah, and remembering those people that sacrificed their lives for our freedom.
I think about too, it is a huge sacrifice for you, but it's also a huge sacrifice for your families. Like you say, you and your wife has been married 40 years,
Right.
40 years. So I think about the sacrifice that she's had to make and your children.
Yeah, and I say all the time, my kids sent me a greeting today, Happy Veterans Day, thanks for your service. And I sent right back to them, thank you for serving right alongside with me.
Yeah.
And so whenever I'm going out for the free meals, I have my wife come right alongside with me, and I'll buy her meal, I'll get my free meal, and we're right there together because she served right there with me. And for her, she hadn't even graduated high school yet. And she had to graduate high school over in Japan.
Wow. I could just imagine what her
She was
parents
18,
was
though.
thinking.
She was 18.
I'm wondering, how her parents felt, to send their daughter off with someone, halfway across the world those years.
There was some apprehension, but man, I could tell you stories about what went on during that time in the 80s that caused her to say, you know what, I know my daughter's going to be safe with this young man. And so I'm glad she gave us the opportunity. But you talk about, what we can do for veterans. I was just recently appointed the Veterans Commissioner for Macomb County, and a lot of our veterans don't know about the different benefits that are afforded to them. So I would encourage every veteran to get into organizations like the organization that you're a part of, the Disabled Veterans of America, the different veterans organizations that can help them to understand what benefits are out there for each and every veteran.
Yeah, I've watched Randall help so many veterans, and the sad part for me sometimes is when you have a veteran that don't know about the benefits, or they don't want the benefits, or they just need help, and then there's not enough help out there for them. But I say to the both of you that this is Veterans Day, and like you said, Randall, we as the citizens can think about veterans more than one day a year.
Mm-hmm.
This is a start, right?
Yes.
November the 11th is a start for us to start thinking about, how we can serve you, how we can remember, those things that are important to you. Thank you both too for serving, and thank you for what you are doing for veterans. Veterans do need the support. But is there anything that's going on that you're a part of now that you can invite a veteran to, or their families?
Right now, our biggest push right now, as far as Marine Corps, support your Toys for Tots.
Oh yeah, that's really huge, really huge. I know that families can get on that list somewhere around October, and that list closed. But that is a huge thing that the Marines do for children. Come December, every kid should be able to have a good Christmas. And all that's going on in the world today, some people are really worried about, how the holiday season is going to start and end. Yes. So if you see the Toys for Tots, how does it work? The Toys for Tots boxes?
Yes, you'll see the boxes, and 9 times out of 10, you'll see a Marine standing there in his dress blues. And he just put the toys in the box. They even take in slightly used toys. So all toys are welcome, because it will make some child smile.
Yep. So if you're able to purchase a new toy, we definitely want that to be done. But if you have a used toy, slightly used toy, almost brand spanking new toy, if you have that, those are also welcome. And what are you doing, Pittman?
Well, being newly appointed, I've been very visible in the community, and not just in Macomb County, but reaching out to other counties. What's really important to me right now is the plight of the homeless veteran. And so what can we do to make sure that we secure housing for those vets that are outside in the elements, and what other resources we can give them to help them to be better in life. And so I went to an event here just a couple of weeks ago in Wayne County that kind of opened my eyes to some of the things that we can do to help our homeless veterans. There are a number of people throughout our region who are developing apartments and different housing situations to include our veterans, and so that's one thing that I'm focused on.
That's really good, because our veterans do need homes. That's one of the biggest things that veterans suffer with is homelessness. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank you both, because you brought to light, some of that insight, from your experiences and the things that are happening in the community. I also want to say, being a part of the Munford Point Marine Corps League Auxiliary, our mission and our goal is to serve Marines, serve their families, serve the detachment, and serve in the community. So our hearts are always, towards our veterans. We look forward to doing everything that we can to walk alongside of you. And we thank you for all of the information that you've given. I thank each and every veteran that came out today. I also want to say to you all out there, veterans, we appreciate you. We love you. And we are going to get better in helping you get the resources that you need. And especially go out today, get that free meal, take your family with you, have a good time. I am Kimberly Clemens signing off today with Chats and Chuckles. And as you saw today, I'm bringing to life the chatter that matters. Please tune in with me again next Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with Chats and Chuckles. Thank you, and you all have a great week.